Hello and welcome to my channel. I'm June. I am with my blog stampwithjune.com. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and I'm going to show you a new technique for me, something that we used shimmery white cardstock instead of just regular white, or not watercolor paper, but it's shimmery white. It's great for watercoloring on, and you could stamp on it. We're going to do a little bit of using our markers in another way, and I'm going to show you now. So we have, like I said, shimmery white water paper. It's measured at 2 3/4 by 4 3/4. And we've got terracotta tile cardstock. It's measured at 4 by 3 1/2. And we have mossy meadow for our card base, which is 5 1/2 by 8 1/2, scored at 4 1/4. We're going to work the card this way so it opens at the bottom. Okay, what I'm going to get started with right now is the stamping. I'm using a image from Painted Poppies stamp set, and this is the image that I'm going to use. Now, I'm not going to stamp it in our regular classic inks. I am going to stamp it in Versamark. For those who don't know, Versamark is what we use as a stamp pad when we want to emboss. So I do want to do embossing with our powder. I'm going to do clear embossing, and you'll see why that's the way I'm going to do embossing. So I'm going to put the flowers, not that's our sentiment. I'm going to stamp the flowers with the Versamark. It's just like stamping, regular stamping, only you're going to use Versamark. I'm going to place our image in the lower left corner of our shimmery white paper. Lift up. And what I'm going to do now is emboss it with, looks good, I'm going to emboss it with clear embossing powder. Now, I know right now I don't think you could see too much of anything. Maybe you could grab it right there with the light. See? I'm going to get my clear embossing powder, which I keep in this container so I can try to contain it without making such a mess. Whoops, whoops, don't touch it. Okay, I'm going to sprinkle some embossing powder on there. Again, this is clear embossing powder. Tap it off. Looks pretty good. Can you see? All right, now we're just going to take the heat tool. When you use the embossing with the Versamark, you use our heat tool, Stampin' Up! Heat tool, to make the magic happen. What it's actually going to do is melt the embossing powder, and that in turn makes it shiny. So let me just go over this and see if you can see it changing. Since it's clear, again, it's not that obvious when you're embossing. I could see it. I could see it turning shiny. The white powder is more, it's shiny now. I don't see the white powder. Can you see that? I think so. All right, it looks good. Maybe right here it hasn't quite gotten melted yet. Okay, I think that's good. Let me see. Yeah, okay. So I'm gonna put the heat tool away. And what I'm gonna do now with this is actually use our markers. I chose Poppy Parade and Mossy Meadow. I'm going to take the Poppy Parade, even though the one I'm using here is terracotta tile. I thought that this was a stronger color, the Poppy Parade, for the flowers. And I thought this was a better combination with the Mossy Meadow rather than the Poppy Parade. I didn't want it to look like Christmas so much. Okay, so I'm going to take the the marker. These are our Stampin Write markers. They come in every color that we carry with cardstock and inks, and they all coordinate. I'm going to sit in my chair and I'm going to color in the flowers. Now remember, this is, we're trying to attempt a watercolor look. So we're not really coloring, paying too much attention to getting in the lines. I'm trying to stay right within the flower image, which for you is hard to see at this point. But I am just going into the flowers and putting the Poppy Parade marker in them. Now what you're seeing is the white lines, and that's the embossing that I put the embossing powder on, and I melted it, and that's how it comes out. Embossing powder comes in many colors. I used clear for this project. I didn't want it to, I wanted it to look more like watercoloring. I didn't want the embossing to overtake the color of the water of the marker, as it looks very subtle. When you watercolor, it's never an exact measure. It's kind of go with the flow here. All right, so I'm just filling in the flowers. It looks like I have them all. And then I'm going to take the Mossy Meadow marker, and I'm just going to go over the stems, and I'm not going to be too fussy. You'll see what I do next is going to bring it all together. And I'm just going down. It's not exactly the easiest to see when you're doing it, but you do your best to go over those white or clear embossed lines. Doing that with the Mossy Meadow. We're getting there. Now it's just, it looks okay this way, but it doesn't have the look that I'd like to go for. But this is part of the process. Okay. I think I got the stems. Okay, I think I have the stems. Now what I'm going to do is take my Wink of Stella. This here gives you a nice sparkle in your work. And I'm going to brush it over the marker, and that's going to give it, it's going to spread it a bit. And I think it looks nice, like a watercolor effect, and in addition you get the sparkles, and that's what we're doing. So as you could see, the clear embossing is giving you some definition of the flower as we color over it, and we use the Wink of Stella to just give it some spreading around. And I think I got it all. Let's see. This one maybe. Okay. So that's the Wink of Stella on that one. Now I'm gonna go along the green, the Mossy Meadow. And I'm just taking it and wiping it over the marker that we used. I'm gonna bring out some of that green in between. I'm just gonna, see it spreads, like it's almost like a an aqua painter, where you would do the watercoloring also, almost like an aqua painter, which I am gonna use on the sky. So I'm just spreading, adding some green there. There we go. How's that look? I love the way that looks. Okay. All right, I'll put it aside. I'll wipe the tip of that so we don't use, when next time we use it, it won't be green. My Wink of Stella is getting a little low, I think. I've had this for so many years. It lasts so long. So there we have that. I hope you like that. I like that look very much. I just want to see if I have enough in there. I kind of would like a little more green I like the combination of the dark green with the light. Okay, I'm just gonna take this Wink of Stellar a little more, spread the dark ones that I just did. There we go. Okay, now I'm gonna put aside the markers and the Wink of Stellar. What I'm gonna do is I'm using Balmy Blue ink pad, and I'm going to put it on my block, and I'll be using my aqua painter. I want to get a very light blue in there for the sky. See, I do not want it too rich. I just want it looking like a splash of watercolor here. So that's nice and light. And like I said, this is the shimmery white paper cardstock, and this you can watercolor on, which is great. It also has this really cool shimmer to it. And I'm just getting some sky here. Sometimes I fill it in a little too much. I don't want to, because the watercolor look should be free-flowing. Okay, let me put this aside now. I'm getting out my stamp that I'm going to use for my sentiment, but I'm going to take I will be taking my heating tool I put it on low. We have two settings. 2 is for embossing, 1 is for drying other papers and whatnot that you don't have to do melting, you just have to dry them. I want to dry this a bit. It doesn't take long. The heat tool is very hot. So I just want to dry the area that I'm going to just stamp on. Let's see how that feels. Okay. Let me get the stamp. I decided to use Mossy Meadow for the sentiment because I'm using the Mossy Meadow here and I'm using the Mossy Meadow card base. So I decided to pick that color up. Stamp it up. Try to get it all even. Great, great. Now I'm going to put this aside. I think I'm going to put this aside. Yes, for now, just for a minute. I'll put the stamp aside. So that my card base, I'm coming back to my base and my mat here. The card base, I gave you measurements, but I forgot to tell you, I used an embossing folder on my die cutting machine. This embossing folder is by Stampin' Up, and it's called Subtle. It's a very subtle lines in the card to give it some more interest, so it's just not a flat piece of paper. So this is the Subtle embossing folder. This is dry embossing. This is embossing with the powder. Okay, and also the terracotta tile piece I embossed with what we call, let me see, Coastal Weave, I believe. Yes, this is a new one that's in our annual spring mini catalog. It goes with the tropical flower set. So see how that gets nicely embossed, and it's called Coastal Weave because it looks like a beachy weave. Okay, so I think I'll put this together. I say that a lot, so you could count how many times and then have a good laugh because I think I say it way too many times. I'll be gluing the terracotta tile down, and I want to put this one on smack in the middle, like so. This, I'm going to put I got a little smudge there, but that's the watercolor. I'm going to put this at a slight angle. I liked the way that looked. And no, one thing I wanted to do, I wanted to add some more interest to this card. I have a copper foil washi tape, and this comes with the delightful tag accessory kit. It comes with some nice twine and washi tape. I'm gonna just put this down here and tear that right off. I will put this here. I was hoping I'd be able to clip. Oh, good. See, I left some room here, so I didn't put glue because I wanted to clip this on like so. And I thought maybe if the person really liked it, who I gave it to, because there's no glue on it, they could take this and put it somewhere, even in a frame, a little stand, because it is so pretty. So that's the card, guys. I made one. I just stole the clip because I only have one of those clips, but I made one before to see how I can do that. And I think they came out great. I hope you like it. If you like the video, please press the like button. If you want to subscribe to my channel, please press on the bell and you will get a notification anytime I do a new video. And again, stampwithjune.com is my website. And I will also put some measurements down on my blog. So, and that's stampwithjune.com. Okay, so thanks for watching and have a great day.